So this is going to be my top 10 movies and video games of all times. Now, the movies might not be in exact order, but whoopee. Now, number one, of course, is going to be Inuyasha, the Sword of an Honorable Ruler. Inuyasha is my favorite anime of all time, so of course one of the movies from my favorite anime is bound to be my favorite movie ever. And that has been my favorite movie since it came out. I remember staying up late all night just so I could watch this movie. Way back in junior high. It was so amazing, and it's still amazing. Number two would be Saw. I love the entire series of Saw, and I've seen every single one. I have done movie marathons of the Saw movie series. I think they're amazing. And intelligent. Which makes it better than pretty much almost all other horror movies out there. It's got intellect. And gore. And really fucked up ways of killing people. Without even being there. Most of the time. Three would be Let the Right One In. Now, when I say Let the Right One In, I mean the original. Not the remake. The remake is not even half as good as the original. So if you haven't yet seen the original, I suggest you watch it, because Let Me In is not as good as Let the Right One In. My puppy. Well, you're not really a puppy anymore, but still. Number four would be Final Destination. I know this series gets a lot of bad rap, and a lot of people don't really like it, but I personally do. Even if it's just simply for the creative way that the people die in the series. Yeah, sure, it's a little repetitive, but still, they die really creatively, and that's my favorite thing about it. Nosferatu, of course, is going to have to be on this list, because, you know, stereotypical goth here. Blood the Last Vampire would be the next one, and I'm talking about the live action, not the anime. Whilst I do think the anime is better, the movie was still pretty freaking great. Number seven would be Dead Space, the first one. I was not a huge fan of the second. I don't think it lived up to the first one at all. The first one was gory, it was messed up, and people died creatively. And I do have to say the most memorable moment in that entire movie was the guy getting stabbed in the eye with the needle. That was awesome. Sheer awesome. Number eight would be Sweeney Todd, because pretty much who doesn't like Sweeney Todd? That movie was amazing. And the music in it was great too. Just listen to the songs on their own and it's awesome still. And then Dark Shadows, of course. That's probably the newest one on this list. But of course, it's a vampire movie. I love vampires and vampire movies. If I haven't seen a vampire movie and I find it, then I watch it. And then Nightmare Before Christmas, of course, has to make this list. Again, stereotypical goth. Woo-hoo. Now, on to my top 10 video games. Now, with my top 10 video game list, I'm including handheld devices as well as, you know, the consoles. And in regards to consoles, the only two consoles I actually have is an Xbox 360 and a PlayStation 2. There's also a Wii, a PlayStation 3, PlayStation 1, and a PlayStation 4 in the house. However, I don't really play them. I have a few games for the Wii, but come on. The Wii doesn't have a lot of good games. It's not enough for me to buy my own. Now, most of the games I play are on Xbox 360 because that's my favorite console. So, and the handheld devices I have is my Game Boy Advance and my DS and my 3DS. So, my number one game, of course, not surprisingly, is going to be the Pokemon, the entire Pokemon franchise. So that includes Pokemon Colosseum, Pokemon Rangers, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, etc., etc. All of them. I like all of them. They are all amazing. And that includes the Pokemon card game. Though I don't really play it very often, I just collect the crap out of the cards. Number two would be the Ohkami game for PlayStation 2. If you haven't played that game, it's very Japanesey. You know, there's blossoms and all this other great stuff. It's just a really good game. I've beaten it like 3 times now. It's an amazing game. I love the way it's designed and the way it's focused on like gods and goddesses in the forest and life and stuff. It's a really good game. You get to play a wolf god. Now, number 3 would have to be Darkwatch. It's one of the older Xbox games, but still. Great game. Vampires. And it's really dark too. What's not to love? Number 4 would be Final Fantasy. I know a lot of people say that series really is ridiculously overrated, and certain games from the Final Fantasy franchise, I agree, are overrated. But I personally love Final Fantasy. My Xbox is a Final Fantasy Limited Edition 360 Xbox, so needless to say, I like Final Fantasy quite a bit. But it's definitely not my absolute favorite. Now next would be Devil May Cry. The one I've played the most would probably be number 4, which is for the Xbox 360. Go figure. So yeah. Number 6 would be Prototype, which I've only rather recently gotten into, but I frankly love the shit out of that game. It's really, really fun. I haven't yet beaten it, because like I said, I just rather recently got into it, but I like it quite a bit, so. Number 7 would be the Saw game, which I have for Xbox. Go figure, Saw game. The minute I found it, I had to buy it, because, like I said earlier, Saw is one of my favorite movies. So, had to get the Saw game, and I love it. It's good. Number 8 would be Splatterhouse. I mean, come on, why not? Number 9 would be Dead Space. Yeah. And 10 would be Neopets. Yes, I play the Neopets game. For the PlayStation 2, I believe it's on. Never got around to beating that thing, because it gets really, really, really hard as you get later on into it, once you pass all the evil witches that try to burn you alive. The game is way darker than it sounds. I know Neopets sounds like an innocent little game for little kids, because the online game pretty much is. But if you play it on the console, it gets pretty goddamn dark. So yeah, those are my top 10 favorite movies and video games.